You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Here he goes, AD. Throwing it down! How about a poster? Anthony Davis is on fire!
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now listening to the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. I'm Big Q. Thank you guys for stopping by and listening to the Pelican post-game report today. Episode 243 on the Pelican post-game report. That's right, episode 243. And in this episode, we'll be recapping the Pelicans' last couple of games. We got a couple games we're going to cover today. We're going to recap the Pelicans' fourth game of the preseason against the Miami Heat, 140-128. And then after the second segment, we'll get into the Raptors game, in which they lost that game as well. But without further ado, I'd like to give you a shout out for listening to the Pelican post-game report today. Thank you for stopping by and checking us out today. Episode 243. Pelicans, man, what can I tell you? It's a team, man, that they're going through their bumps and bruises, and this one is quite evident. Before we get into that, let me give you the rundown on today's show. Like I said, the first segment will cover the Pelicans 140-128 loss to the Miami Heat. We'll break that down on this side of it. And then we'll also talk about the Pelicans, recap the Pelicans' loss 134-119 to the Toronto Raptors. We'll also have Pelican news and notes. We'll talk about the guys that they released. We'll break that down, give you our thoughts on that. And of course, toward the back end, we'll run down the Pelicans' 2018 squad as they prepare to open up against the Houston Rockets on the 17th of this month. So it's going to be interesting for the Pelicans. Do they have what it takes this year to compete and take it to another level? I'll give you my thoughts during the third segment. We also have interviews from L. Gentry. He'll chime in, give you his thoughts on some of these games here, his post-game thoughts on both of the games, the Heat and the Raptors games. It's real interesting. And I was asked by a friend of mine, do I have any concerns about the Pelicans, the fact that they went the entire preseason without getting a win? They went 0-5 in the preseason. Should I be concerned about that if you're a Pelican follower? Anytime you see in the preseason, of course, people always tell you preseason don't count. If that was the case, then they wouldn't play preseason. Preseason counts in so many ways toward the regular season because you're trying to find the right mix as you play your new addition players with the old guys and meshing them together so they have a familiarity with the system in live game play. Not to mention you're trying to fill the back ends of your bench and find roles for the players that you had last year and how some of these players could have actually improved. And then you have some of the new guys, the two-way players, trying to make a stick on this team. So it's really important. 0-5, no wins. I would have liked to have seen them win at least one or two of these games. But 0-5, man, you know, a couple of these games they could have won if they'd have kept the starting squad. But of course, you know that's not what it's about. But let's get into the first one right here, the Miami Heat debacle. They went down 140-128 by 12 in this one. And field goal percentage, the Pelicans were actually pretty good in this one. They shot 56% in this game, while Miami had 47%. The Pelicans shot 48.5% from the three-point line. Miami was 33%. Problem with the Pelicans. Remember from the previous shows, if you listened to the previous shows, I always talked about the pace of play for the Pelicans. One of the fastest teams in the NBA. Funny part about the Pelicans is the fact that they turned the ball over 24 times in this game. You're not going to beat anybody turning the ball 24 times. I told you. I think the threshold for the Pelicans and their pace of play should be right around 15 or 16 turnovers a game. Anything below that, anything over that, you're hurting yourself. They also were out-rebounded in this game, which is a steady trend for most of these preseason games. They get beat in the paint by these teams. And Miami just was showing you that the Pelicans need to improve that as well moving ahead. You can't lose the rebound battle, points in the paint battle, then get ran out of the gym when it comes down to the defensive play and turn the ball over lackadaisically and think you're going to beat NBA teams. It don't work like that. You have some teams you'll probably beat, but a lot of these teams that you won't beat playing that style of play. Pelicans, like I said, they didn't have the rebounds. They only 35 total rebounds versus 45 by the Heat. Interesting stat, offensive rebounds. The Heat has 16 offensive rebounds versus the Pelicans 4. You're not going to get anything done that way. The Pelicans did have more assists than the Heat, 26-23. But you neutralize that advantage when you turn the ball over. 17 steals by the Miami Heat in this game. That's ridiculous. 24 turnovers for the Pelicans, which points off turnovers, give it up 39 of those points. So they had 24 turnovers and then gave the other team 39 points. The Heat had 14 turnovers, only got 16 points off from the Pelicans. Points in the paint, Pelicans beat 60-48, like I said. And it's one of those things where you just have to ask yourself, where's the defensive edge in this game? But before we get more into it, let's see what Coach Alvin Gentry had to say about his team's performance against the Miami Heat in this one. Here's Gentry.
I thought this was the first game or the first practice where we didn't really compete. I thought they just they outcompeted us, number one, and then number two, once again, careless with the basketball is something that is a big concern of mine. Really, 24 turnovers, 39 points. You give up 40 points on your turnovers, you probably are not going to have an opportunity to win. You're not going to win. And I thought the pace of the game was great, and you shouldn't be able to shoot 56% and then 49% from three and not be in the game. And we were basically not in the game. It doesn't matter what the final score was. We just weren't in the game. I thought the last group that I put in, I thought they played hard and competed the way we should have the whole game. But the rebounding bothered me. Just the defense overall, of pressure on the ball. I don't think they felt us at all. I know we didn't have three of our main guys out there, but, that has nothing to do with competing. We still have to compete with whoever we run out there. Oh, I just thought they played hard and tried to do, the right thing. And I thought defensively they tried to pressure up a little bit, and I thought they did get into the ball. We just talked about, we said, hey, let's go and see if we can win the fourth quarter. I thought they did a really good job with that. Like I said, offensively we can figure it out, but, defensively we got to be much better than what we did. Rebounding wise, individual defense, just overall, we've always been a really good screen and roll defensive team. Last year, one of the top 5 in the league, and I didn't think we did a very good job with that tonight. So it's the first time I think that, in practices or in any other games that we played where we didn't compete at a real high level, and the team that we played out competed.
That's Coach L. Gentry, man, breaking it down, saying you got to compete against no matter who you put out there. And Coach Gentry's right. And that's been the mainstay for these Pelicans, these new Pels 2018 squad. Of course, a couple of guys didn't play. They didn't play Anthony Davis in this one. They DMP'd him, gave him some rest. We know about Jahlil Okafor with his right ankle sprain. We know about Alexis Jenkins still rehabbing from the right quadricep surgery. And Drew Holiday and Etuan Moore both were given rest in this one. So about maybe 3 or 4 of the really good players did not play in this contest for the Pelicans. Nikolai Mirotic got a lot of action, 30 minutes, so did Julius Randle. He had 19 points in this game, Nikolai Mirotic, 19 points in 30 minutes, 7 of 13 from the field, 1 of 6 from downtown, struggled. Julius Randle had a really good game in this one, 23 points through 30 minutes. He was 6 of 10 from the field, 6 rebounds for him and the effort, but he had 5 turnovers. Got to get that under control. Solomon Hill, he did get an extended amount of time at the 3 position, 22 minutes. He was 1 of 3, 1 of 2 from downtown. He had only 3 points and 4 rebounds. Elfrid Payton, 27 minutes of play, 17 points through 27 minutes. He had 8 assists in his game. Didn't turn the ball over, had a couple of turnovers, but actually was pretty solid in this game. Very solid play from Elfrid Payton in this game. And, of course, Ian Clark, he started as well, had 8 points through 16 minutes of play. Off the bench, 17 points from Darius Miller, 24 minutes. He played 6 of 9 shooting, 5 of 6 from downtown. He finished with 17 points. He was hot in this game. 14 points from Troy Williams, who really stepped up. I love his athleticism and dunking the ball. He brings something to this team. Both he and Frank Jackson bring athleticism and will cram this and will dunk on your head type player mentality, which I really will love. The Pelicans' athleticism in terms of those guys to be able to dunk and get up the court. I love what Troy Williams spring. He finished the game 14 points, 5 of 9 shooting, and 9 minutes of play. Just 9 minutes, the guy got 14 points. Told you keep an eye out for that man. Other players that were in double figures outside of those, Frank Jackson, he had 21 minutes of playing. This one shot 4 of 6, 1 of 1 from downtown, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 13 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple of assists for Mr. Frank Jackson as he continues to get in it. Garland Green, in 9 minutes, he was 2 of 5 from the field, 1 of 3 from downtown, had 7 points. In the game, Kenrick Williams finished the game with 4 points as well. So I'm looking at a lot of the things dealing with the Pelicans, and like we're saying, this might have been a different game if Anthony Davis played, but of course, the point of the game is sometimes you might not have all of your players, so you have to win with who you have to win with. Now, Miami is not an incredibly loaded team, and they set a lot of their players too. Hassan Whiteside, Goran Dragic, Dwayne Wade, most of those guys, Deion Waiters, those guys were DNP'd in the game. Some of those guys were hurt, but they played a lot of backup guys in this one. The Pelicans should have got this game. Richardson finished the game with 25 points. Bam Adebayo had 26 points in this game. The high flyer Jones, he had 18 and some really fierce killer dunks to electrify the crowd. And that's the type of stuff I wish the Pelicans would focus on, getting a high flyer slasher guy that could shoot the three. Maybe we have found that Troy Williams. We definitely have that in Frank Jackson. So love what the Pelicans, some of those players are doing, what those players are representing. But like I said, it's not too hard to figure out why the Pelicans lost this game. Only thing you have to do is key in the fact that they had 24 haphazard turnovers and allowing the team to basically score at will. When you look at what they did on the defensive side of the ball, you can't play like that. You're what Coach Gentry said. Obviously, they got to clean that up. The defense is just not where it's supposed to be. And you would like to see some improvement because, what is this, the 4th game of the preseason? And you've had enough time to kind of have 3 or 4 other games where you need to kind of iron out the wrinkles. But you're not going to beat a team if you turn the ball over 24 times. And I keep saying the same thing. You got to be able to do two things. You can't turn the ball over like this. You can't get out rebounded. You can't get beat in points in the paint if you're Pelicans. And most of the time, your game is inside out. Now, I know they can shoot the three, but when you got Anthony Davis, the second best player in the NBA, I say, then you're going to have an inside out game. Even though AD shoots the three, he is a fierce player on the interior. Plus you have Anthony Davis playing at the 5, so it's inside out. You get out rebounded on offensive end 16-4, that's not going to help you. Then when you get to the free throw line, 33 times, you hit 24 of them for about 73%. So free throws, points in the paint, assists, in which they did win the assist war, but it didn't make a difference because you had 24 turnovers that allowed the team to allow Miami to score a ridiculous 39 points off of your 24 turnovers. That's horrendous. But anyway, that's the game. 140 to 128, the Pelicans go down the flames. 0-4 at this point. When we come back on the other side of the break, we'll get into the next game, the first home game as they face off with the Toronto Raptors, and we'll break that down on the side of the break. You listen to the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. Stay with us.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Cube and the guys.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast and customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registers and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
What's up, sports world? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share, and help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.